But first, a KXAN investigation, important for anyone facing decisions on how best to care for your aging loved ones.
Your agency's job is to do a thorough investigation and protect that elderly resident. Why wasn't that done in this case?
I don't know. That's something that we're looking into now.
At 6 o'clock tonight, we told you the state admits it made a mistake while investigating sexual assault allegations at a local retirement facility.
And now, because of our story, the Health and Human Services Commission is launching its own investigation to find out what went wrong. KXAN investigator Brian Collister introduces us to the family who says the system failed them.
At 6, we showed you this woman's picture and what she looked like after her family says she was sexually assaulted at Longhorn Village by another male resident. It's a retirement community established by the Texas Exes. The family believes management there was more interested in protecting its investment and reputation than protecting their mother. Do you believe Longhorn Village tried to hide this incident and cover it up from you and your family?
I do. I think they even told the nursing staff that they were not allowed to, tell us what happened. And as a result, it was a year later before we ever had any idea.
This woman, who asked us not to reveal her face or name, says it took almost a year before she learned about allegations her mother was sexually assaulted by a male resident. Her mom suffers from Alzheimer's and dementia and was ruled mentally incapacitated by a doctor and judge. Longhorn Village didn't tell the family. A lawyer representing 2 former employees did.
We all knew that her mental capacity was not one that could consent. We all knew that.
Nurse Kathleen Yessian sued Longhorn Village in 2012, claiming she was fired for complaining to management about the alleged sexual assault and reporting it to the Texas Department of Aging and Disability Services, known as DADS. Another former employee also sued Longhorn Village, claiming she was fired after repeated complaints about the alleged sexual assault and the woman's declining health condition. The cases were recently settled, the agreement sealed, and employees prevented from talking about it. But here's what Yessian said in a videotaped deposition.
I walked into the room and actually observed them having sex. And I walked out of the room because I had been told to leave them alone, let them do it.
The nurse claims management did nothing to stop it.
I told him that I didn't believe that she could consent. And when I said that, Michael Little rolled his eyes at me, and I was told not to document it, and I was told not to speak of it outside that room.
Who told you not to document it?
Michael Little.
Michael Little was the executive director of Longhorn Village at the time. In his deposition, he says he spoke to the woman's daughter, but claims he can't remember if he told her about the alleged assaults.
I don't recall that as part of the conversation.
Okay. Do you think you would have disclosed that?
I don't know.
Angela Brown, the director of assisted living for Longhorn Village at the time, says management never investigated the incident as a sexual assault.
Was there ever an incident report completed about the allegations of abuse on February 11th?
No.
Was there ever an initial investigation as to cause?
No.
Dr. Carmel Dyer is with the Texas Elder Abuse and Mistreatment Institute.
If a patient has been ruled incapacitated, they cannot participate in consensual sex, period.
The nurse knew that, and after reporting it herself to the state, an investigation began. Longhorn Village points to that investigation, saying, based on this thorough, independent investigation by the state regulator, Longhorn Village believes the pending lawsuit is entirely without merit. But KXAN has uncovered the state's investigation was far from thorough, something a spokesperson for the Department of Aging and Disability Services admitted in an interview just today.
It was a failure. It was something that needed to be done, that wasn't done.
The state's investigator said in a 2012 court hearing he didn't even see the guardianship order, and it wouldn't have mattered to him anyway. He determined what happened was consensual sex, and the complaint unsubstantiated. In this case, your investigator reviewed the medical file, but was not aware that there was a guardianship order. Why not?
Correct. And we don't know why not. We're reviewing the case now to determine what, if anything, could have been done differently.
And KXAN also discovered the Department of Aging did not follow the law. It's required to report all allegations of abuse and neglect to law enforcement. Initially, you told us that this agency reported this case to law enforcement, but we found that was not the case. Why didn't it get reported to law enforcement?
That's a question we're trying to answer at this time. It was not reported as it should have been.
The fact no one told them and nothing was done leaves the family feeling like the system failed them. In this case, the guardian wasn't notified and the family wasn't notified, but they should have been notified.
Absolutely.
The woman's daughter says she's grateful someone cared enough to help her mother.
If it hadn't been for some amazing caregivers, I really think she would have probably died as a result of what happened.
The elderly male resident still lives at Longhorn Village. I spoke with him on the phone. He denies sexually assaulting the female resident and says it never happened. We'll be following this lawsuit and let you know what happens next. Brian Collister, KXAN, investigates.
And if you're wondering if there have ever been any abuse complaints at your loved one's facility, we have an online tool for you. Right now at KXAN.com, you can search by facility statewide. Just look for this story on the homepage of KXAN.com. And this story came to us through a viewer tip. So if you need something investigated, go to KXAN.com and click on Report It.